Okay. Yeah. That was fun. If you're tuning in and you're wondering why this video showed up on your feed, you are one of the 500 people that still subscribes to me. So for that, thank you. I know it's been a long time since I've released a video, maybe 5 years at this point. But I want to say, your man's back on 2 wheels! Also, if you click the thumbnail that led you to this video, you do know now that I picked up a 2018 Yamaha XSR700. It is a new to me bike because I bought this used, and you might be wondering what I did with my R1. Well, back in 2019, after I came home from Asia, I ended up putting that R1 up for sale because I had no job after backpacking for 6 months, as one would have no job. And I wanted money fast, and I wanted to travel to South America and backpack there for a whole year. So I put the R1 online for sale, and it got sold pretty quickly, and I pocketed the rest of the cash. And yeah, I was looking forward to South America. Then COVID happened, and nobody went anywhere. Not me, not you, not anybody, for at least 6 months. So that curbed that plan entirely. I was without a bike, without a trip, and stuck inside all the time. But that's not the case. This isn't a video about that. This is a video about this bike. So fast forward to 2021, the summer of 2021. It's not the summer of 67, but we all can try to think it is. I wanted a bike. I started a new job, and I was financially stable after, you know, putting away for the future. And I thought, it's time I treated myself, because I haven't had a motorcycle in a couple years, and I haven't ridden in a couple years. And I went real hardly, on Facebook Marketplace looking for another bike. And I stumbled across 2. One was an XSR900. That was the one I really wanted because of the inline triple. And the other, playing around with the idea, was the XSR700. Now, I found a couple of 900s. I've ridden an MT-09 before, and I really like that cross-plane triple. I really like Yamaha's cross-plane. But I couldn't really find one that suited my needs or my wants. Like, you know, when you look at a bike, you want that pizzazz, and I didn't find that from the one that I saw. Plus, he took a long time to get back to me. I ended up contacting the owner of this bike. He was local, relatively speaking, being in Mass and all. And I went down, checked it out without the intentions of buying it because I still had my heart set on the 900. But after talking with him, after looking at the bike, I kept doing a couple of look backs, you know. You gotta walk away from your vehicles, and if it don't make you look back, ain't the vehicle for you. This one did, and I looked back, and I looked at him and I said, hey, let's talk deals, and let's see what we can do. We came to an agreement, we shook on it, and a week later I came back down and I rode it home. Ever since then, I've done nothing but ride the bike, minus in the wintertime, except for that one day in November when it was 70 degrees out. But other than that, yeah, I got this bike home and I was just riding the rails off of it. Anywhere and everywhere, I was there. And I was happy because I was back on 2 wheels. But there's only a couple of caveats going into this bike that I was weary about. Some of the things I didn't like was the parallel twin. Coming off of years and years and years of riding inline 4s, I didn't really fancy myself ever owning a parallel twin. Mind you, I never really gave them much thought because I've been on inline 4s most of the time I've been riding. But woo, that does sound nice. Don't get me wrong, that sounds real nice. It took a little bit to get used to the engine configuration, but honestly, at the end of the day, I can say wholeheartedly that I don't mind this parallel twin. I like this parallel twin. I like this parallel twin. The original owner, he put a Rogue exhaust on it, and the thing sounds mean. It sounds throaty as all hell. And on cold morning starts at 7 a.m., my neighbors absolutely hate me, and for good reason. So yeah, I grew to love the parallel twin. And this thing is a wheelie monster. First, second, third gear, you can power wheelie this thing with no problem. Let me tell you, no problem. The headlight bucket, I feel, is just enormous. It looks like a Cyclops. I don't understand why they decided to put such a big housing on the front. I've seen so many aftermarket headlights and they look so much better because they're shallow buckets. This one is just, it's like 7 inches deep, man. And it's not even like that. That might be the only things I really didn't like about the bike. And honestly, they're not even that much. Now, let me tell you what I do like about the bike. First of all, it's light. It's fun to ride. It doesn't hurt my wrists or my back or my lower back or my butt on 300 plus miles of riding. And that might be the old person in me. But you know what? I'm about to be 35 this year. I'm not a spry 21-year-old throwing his leg over an R6 thinking, oh my god, this is amazing, and riding it for like 8,000 miles a season. No. I've put in my time. I've gotten thrown off the bikes a couple of times. I've sat on it in freezing cold, through rain, through heat. I want to be comfortable. I'm sorry. I want to be comfortable. And this bike does it. I rode this all the way up to the White Mountains and back, and that's about a 300-mile ride, and I was perfectly fine. On my old bikes, the R1, you literally needed the jaws of life to pry me off of that thing. All my joints and my arms, my muscles, my back, they all seized up, and I just became a trophy sitting on a motorcycle. It's no fun. That isn't fun. My ideas of fun have changed, and this bike provides. Now, the other thing I like about this bike is the lack of electronics. The R1 had everything you could ever need under the sun. Launch control, traction control, slide control, a quick shifter. I mean, half of those things I really never use. I did want to use the launch control once, but I seen a video of a guy launching himself to the moon, and I thought, maybe I won't pin it to 10,500 and just dump the clutch trusting it. This bike, it just has ABS. That's it. ABS. And you know what? That's all it needs. Even though I don't like it, this bike doesn't need anything else because it keeps it fun. It keeps it back to basics, and I really think that's what I was missing. Just think about KISS, the engineer KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. And Yamaha really kept it simple with this one. All this is just a bike. You hop on it, you turn it on, you ride. That's it. That's what I really like about this. It's just an eye catcher. People will be like, "What is that bike? What is that?" And I was like, "It's a Yamaha. It's a Yamaha." And they're like, "Oh man, that's so cool." I know it's cool. Because we're on it. We're on it. I mean, you're riding. That's cool enough too, you know? Don't forget, when you're riding, that's cool. But the original owner, like I said, he put on a lower handlebar from Gill's Tooling. He put on a Brogue exhaust with the power piggyback. I forgot what it was called. He also added in some aftermarket grips. He also added in a Brogue Speedo relocator kit, which is nice because now it's not like dead center. An NRC tail tidy, which is nice because it cleans up the rear end a lot. It's not that haggard piece of equipment back there. And then last summer when I picked it up, I ended up throwing on a couple things. First was switching out the front end. Well, not switching it out, but covering up all that chrome from the front forks because they're hideous. It was so much chrome. When you ride in the sun, you might blind oncoming traffic. So I blacked out the front end with fork gaiters and an OEM upper fork tube cover. I also added in bar end mirrors because the old bars that were situated here and here were hideous, to say the least. They provided ample vision, but they were absolutely hideous to the look of the bike, so I switched those out. I ended up putting on a Gill's Tooling chain adjuster with spools because I didn't realize this bike had no spools, and I only have spool stands. Not only does it double as a chain adjuster, but you can also use your stands. How crazy is that? One of the reasons why Yamaha decided to cut costs on some of these bits is to keep the costs down, and I feel as if that was one of it. The other thing I did was slapped on a set of EBC double sintered pads because the front end of this thing was complete mush. Not a big fan. Anytime I went to brake, you could just feel it not bite. There's no bite. The harder you squeeze, the more nothing there is. So that was always fun. The other part of it is the suspension is atrocious. The front end is so soft. There's no preload on the front end. I don't think there's any preload in the rear either, the rear shock. So in my garage right now, I do have a new chain and sprocket kit, a 520 going up 3 tooth in the rear, 1 tooth down, 1 tooth in the front. So stock gearing is 1643. I think my new gearing will be 1546. I'll lose top end speed, but all that rump will be on the bottom end. And you know what? I'm gonna turn a wheelie machine into a wheelie monster. I don't know. Maybe it's sounding good in my head right now, but maybe I'll have to think about that for a second. The other thing I got is a Razor R Lite from K-Tech rear shock because I'm sick and tired of the bouncing. I also got a Öhlins FSK 108 kit. It's just a new spring and spacer kit for the forks because, like I said, it's really soft and there's no preload adjustment, and that's what I really want, is I want that preload adjustment. And the rear shock at least has preload, ride height, and rebound, so that's gonna be fun. I'm hoping that would change the dynamics of the bike. And everyone says the suspension, once you upgrade on this particular bike, is gonna be super nice, very nice. So I'm waiting for that. My whole goal this year is just to ride more, go camping once or twice on the bike, and do a couple track days because I miss the track so much. I want to get all that stuff done, and then I want to hit the track. I want to do long road trips with my buds. I want to ride every day when it's nice. Actually, I just want to ride every day. I just miss riding. I just miss it, man. There's nothing like it. And hopefully you guys stay tuned because I plan to have a couple more videos out this year, a couple how-tos, a couple more vlogs, a couple track day vlogs, stuff like that. Just, you know, back in the game, man. Back to riding, back to living life, having fun. And, you know, life's too short to not get a bike. If you're on the fence about riding a motorcycle, if you're on the fence about this particular bike, let me tell you, smiles per gallon. And that's without inflation.